Today you're going to start learning about web pages and the language and concepts for creating your own web pages. One of the amazing things you can do on the internet and the web is create things like web pages so that billions of people, anyone with an internet and web connection, can see them. Let's get started in understanding and mastering the concepts and language, the nuts and bolts of making a web page, so you can make your own web page. You probably are quite familiar with web pages. You've seen and navigated them. For example, you may have looked at Wikipedia web pages. You've seen that some web pages are easier to read than others. Some are full of really fun and interesting links, words, images, videos, and more. Here is a Wikipedia web page that describes web pages. In the web page is an image of a web page. So we're talking about a web page with a picture of a web page, and in that web page is information, excitement. You'll learn about the basics in creating web pages. Your own imagination and creativity will help you apply this knowledge in creating your own pages. For example, there is bold or emphasized text on the web page. You'll learn about how to make some parts of a web page be more forceful than others. There are links to other web pages on this web page. Links are what helped transform how people use the internet and the web, linking from one page to another so that you can learn amazing things by following links. This web page has images. You can also put videos and audios on a web page, but we'll be looking at images first since they're very simple to access and use. To access a particular web page such as this one, you need the address of the web page. The address isn't part of the web page. It's used to access the web page online. Once you share the address, anyone in the world can access your web page. In this course, you'll be creating web pages that you can share with anyone in the world. The address is called a URL, or Uniform Resource Locator. In order to write web pages, you're going to learn hypertext markup language. This is the language used to create web pages. Most people use HTML as an abbreviation for hypertext markup language. It's much easier to say, and it's easy to use when searching for information online. Note that in learning HTML, you are not learning a programming language, but rather a markup language. HTML does not run on a computer like a programming language, but is used by web browsers to display a web page. You may have written documents in which you select text and make it bold, or underlined, or italics. This is a way of marking up the text to display in certain ways. HTML uses structural marker called tags that the web browser uses to display the web page. When you write HTML, you get to describe what you want to appear in the web page you're creating. The browser uses HTML to render the web page so that it's viewable on a computer or on a phone or somewhere else a browser runs. Because HTML is a markup language, that description includes not just the text and images, but markup describing the formatting you want. For example, bold text like you just saw, tables like you will see in the next lesson, or a variety of others ways to display your information. You'll use HTML to specify meaning, like bold or link, but you won't use HTML to specify how to display bold text, like what color to use. For that, you'll use another language, one you'll also study a little later. There are different ways to display items. You will later learn about CSS to provide ways to enhance the display of your web page. You may specify that you want to emphasize some text, but how exactly do you display emphasized text? CSS lets you describe that. Maybe it's italics, maybe it's bold, maybe it's huge and red. You'll learn CSS in a later lesson. In order for different browsers to interpret HTML on web pages, there must be standards. HTML5 is the current version of HTML. It's a collaborative standard, many people working around the world to decide on the standards. The first standard for HTML was in 1993. Wow, that was over 20 years ago. That was a very different time. Most people used very slow modems to connect to the internet then. Web pages were much simpler then, and images were slow to load. Today we have images, video, audio, and more, but we still have an HTML standard, just one that's up to date with current capabilities of the internet and the web. The most recent standard for HTML was in 2014, and it has evolved with the changing times. HTML5 has features to support multimedia that would have been unimaginable in 1993. Here's an example of HTML for a web page, and that web page displayed. You'll see that the HTML markup has many tags. Each tag is set off by angle brackets from what's between the tags. We'll look at the tags used on this page, but you can also see that the displayed web page does not show the tags. It shows the phrase "Hello World," and you can read the title of the web page in the Browser tab. The title is Hello World Page. First, you see the HTML tag to indicate we are using HTML to define the components of a web page. The web page is defined between the starting HTML tag and the ending HTML tag. All valid web pages using HTML contain these tags. As we'll see, there's a start tag and an end tag. The tags match up, but the end tag has a slash that indicates it's the end tag. Next, you see all the header information defined between the start and ending head tag. Again, the end tag is /head and the matching start tag is head. Next, you see the title tag. Note that all the content between the starting and ending title tag is displayed as the title of the web page. Hello World Page. Next, you see highlighted the body tags of the page. Whatever content you put between the start and ending body tags will be displayed as the body of the web page. Finally, we see a short paragraph within the starting and ending p tags, and you can see that content. Hello World is displayed in the web page. We'll see this HTML often. What's between the body tags is what the user looking at the web page sees.